Over the last 10 years, I built what I thought was my dream collection. Transformers, Marvel Legends, Power Rangers, Funko Pops. You name it, I had it in my display. I hunted figures, chased exclusives, and stacked my shelves with hundreds of different characters. But eventually, I looked at it and realized this wasn't it. It didn't bring me joy anymore. It didn't feel like mine. So I sold off different collections, thinning the herd, until I recently sold off almost everything. And now I'm starting over. But this time, I'm doing things differently. I've learned a lot over the last decade of collecting about what to do, what not to do, and build something that actually matters. If you're just starting your collection, or if you're feeling burnt out like I did, this video's for you. Let's talk about the biggest mistakes I made and how I'm fixing them now. Mistake number 1, buying just to buy. At some point, it stopped being about meaning and more so about momentum. That dopamine hit of clicking add to cart, that rush when a new box ended up at my door. I'd see a figure drop online or one sitting on the shelf at the store and I'd grab it, even if it didn't really fit my collection, even if it wasn't a character that I truly cared about. Sometimes I bought a figure just because I thought it was rare, or because everyone else wanted it, or caving into FOMO because if I left it, I regret it later. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Impulse buying doesn't build a collection, it just builds a pile. And pretty soon, my shelves looked like an episode of Hoarders Buried Alive. It was a mess. I'd look around and see figures that I didn't connect with, characters I didn't care about, entire lines purchased just to keep up. And slowly, it drained the joy right out of the hobby. My second mistake, ignoring my display space. When I first started collecting, I wasn't thinking about how things would look together. I was just focused on the thrill of the purchase. Find it, buy it, repeat. Before I know it, every shelf was overflowing. Figures were stood shoulder to shoulder, posed poorly, and it was looking like I was stocking a toy store shelves, but even worse, because nothing had order. And instead of feeling proud of my collection, I just started to feel overwhelmed by it. It became an eyesore, and things that I considered to be junk, instead of representations of the characters that I loved. A good display should showcase what you care about, not drown it out in the noise. But I had so many figures competing for attention that nothing stood out anymore. And here's what no one tells you. When your display space has no room to breathe, it feels like clutter, like chaos, like a burden. And that feeling eats away at your excitement, slowly and quietly, until one day you look at your shelves and think, I don't want to be in this room anymore. Mistake number 3, no collecting focus. This might be the one that hurts the most, because although I had a ton of great figures, the collection itself really didn't say anything about me. One month I was all in on Marvel Legends, then it was a few months on the Transformers, then it was NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line, and Super 7's Power Rangers, and back to Marvel Legends. I was jumping between a ton of different lines, and although I loved these franchises, there was no theme, no identity, no emotional connections to these figures. And the deeper I went, I felt like I was just chasing the hype, and it wasn't personal. I'd look around and think, what am I even doing this for? And that's when it hit me. I wasn't collecting with intention. I was collecting like a consumer, grabbing it and not curating it. And without any focus, all that time, money, and effort just turned into noise. So what's different this time? Now I'm collecting with intention, with a plan, focusing on joy, not quantity. My first new rule, collecting with a purpose. Every piece I have now has to have meaning. Not hype, not resale value, just a real personal connection. Whether it's a childhood favorite, a character I admire, or a figure from a story that really stuck with me, it has to have meaning. Because my goal is no longer just building a shelf full of characters. It's to build the collection that tells my story. The more I looked at what I owned, I started to realize something. The figures themselves didn't always capture what I loved about comics, movies, or TV shows. What I really connected with were the iconic costumes, the doomsday devices, the key artifacts, the stuff that represented the heart of the world these characters lived in. That's when my mind shift completely changed. I didn't want to be an action figure collector anymore. I wanted to curate a display of relics and replicas, the artifacts that symbolize my favorite universes. This new approach allowed me to miss the traps that I used to fall in, chasing every figure down just because it was trending. Now I'm building something unique, something that reflects what I truly love, not just what's hot this month. Rule number 2, plan the display first. Before I buy anything, I ask myself, where is this going to go? Does it fit the shelf? Does it complement the display? Does it make the space look better? I'm treating my collection now more like art. Now I'm curating it instead of stockpiling it. And honestly, that shift alone has made this whole process so much more satisfying. There are a lot of things to consider when putting together a great display. First and foremost, choose the right furniture. The second, make sure that you can light it properly. If you're just starting out, there is nothing wrong with using what you have. An empty corner of your desk, the top of your dresser, a bookshelf that just needs a pop of color. Start small, but fill that space with things that you genuinely enjoy. But once your collection starts growing and your space starts shrinking, you have to be intentional. If you're spending hundreds of dollars on figures, it's worth investing in quality furniture that fits not only what you have, but also gives your collection room to grow. There are a ton of options out there, so I won't get into them today. But check out room tours on YouTube from your favorite YouTubers to see what they're doing and see what you can copy off of. I also highly recommend the Collection Critique series from Bobby Skullface. It's one of the best resources out there for learning the do's and don'ts of display design. But when you're watching these room tours and those collection critiques, make sure you pay attention to the lighting. Lighting is what makes your display come to life, and it doesn't have to break the bank. Even a simple LED light strip or some puck lights can turn your collection from meh to museum worthy. On a personal note, my family and I are moving in the next couple of months, so I can't fully redesign my backdrop or my display space just yet. But when I do, I'm taking inspiration from some of my favorite trophy rooms in comics and movies. The Dead Superhero display in Hulk Future Imperfect, Craven's Wall of Trophies on Amazing Spider-Man issue 18, King the Conqueror's Legendary Trophy Room, and the Predator Skull Collection and his ship in Predator 2. I want to take those ideas, take those vibes, and put my own twist on it. Create something that feels unique, personal, and intentional. Because at the end of the day, the collections represent who you are and the universes that you love. So make sure it's something you can be proud of. Rule number 3, less is more. This might be the biggest change for me and also the hardest one to make. I'm not collecting everything anymore. I'm collecting the right things. I'd rather have 10 pieces that I absolutely love than 100 figures that I really don't care about. And I'd rather use those pieces to create a display around a character that I love than just have a ton of figures posed awkwardly like it's a high school class photo. I'm focused on quality over quantity. And honestly, it looks better, it feels better, and it's way easier on my wallet. I used to collect like I was ticking boxes. Now I'm collecting to build a story. If you're just getting started with your collection or thinking about restarting it, take your time. Think about what you actually want, what brings you joy, and what you want your collection to say about you. It doesn't need to be massive. It doesn't need to impress anyone but you. Some of the best collections I've ever seen aren't big. They're meaningful. They're curated. They're intentional. And that's what I'm working towards now. Not the biggest collection I can build, but the most personal. This hobby can be incredibly fun, but could also be overwhelming, exhausting, and expensive, especially if you don't slow down, take a step back, and ask yourself why. So if you're feeling burnt out or feel like your shelves aren't sparking joy anymore, take a step back. It might be time to rebuild from the ground up. I did, and I am so glad I did it. Now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest mistake you made when collecting? Or what's the best piece of advice you can give to someone starting out? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear more. Let's help each other build our collections one meaningful piece at a time. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a fellow collector. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay handsome.